Hello and welcome to Mock Productions. You are here with me, Matthew, and I'm here with some very sad news. Very sad indeed, because right now I should be sat down enjoying myself at a pre-release. However, all the UK pre-releases, as I'm probably sure a lot of Pokemon people know already, have all been cancelled. Amazing, yeah, really, yeah. It's disappointing because obviously not just for myself, but for kids, mainly kids. A lot of parents, kids, they would have taken their children to this event, check out what they could have got. It's a nice day out for everyone, and it got ruined. It got ruined. Now, in all fairness, there is hopefully. They are hoping to make sure the pre-releases are a week late. That's basically how this is going to be. Now, because of what happened, which I probably don't need to go into any detail because a lot of people probably already know, and probably people are quite annoyed, especially in the UK. Everywhere else, they've received their pre-release kits and they have been tucking into all of their awesome pulls. And believe me, this set looks to be the best set for Sun and Moon so far. I'm putting it out there. I think there's a lot of cards here which are extremely playable. A very, very good set. A ton of GXs, a ton of full art trainers. My gosh, there's so many. It is insane. It looks to be an absolutely fantastic set, and it's just so upsetting to say that I'm not at a pre-release at the moment. However, this video isn't just me talking in front of this. I have got a video lined up. Now, this was supposed to be a video for yesterday, but of course everything happened. But I'm still going to put it out because I still think people who are going to go to pre-releases will find this very interesting. The video will start as normal, as it would. I just wanted to put this at the very beginning just to explain why I'm not at any pre-releases, and hopefully I will be at one next weekend. Now, because obviously there's been a week delay, I would have liked to have recorded the gameplay. Now, I might do that for just one or two, but I probably won't do it for all three. I will ensure to get gameplay, videos for the openings of both packs, so rest assured they will be there because hopefully we can pull some awesome stuff. If I find I can record maybe one or two matches, I might do. The only problem is I don't have enough spare time, especially after the pre-releases, to actually edit all the videos because I'm going to be starting a new job, so it's just all manic at the moment. So I can probably do one or two, and if I've got any free time, you know, I'll get them out as soon as possible. But the actual card videos will be up as soon as possible, even if they are literally 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, and then you get some videos every now and again of the footage from the pre-release. At least then you can see the deck that I built and how it actually ran. Yeah, it's just a really quick update to explain what's happened, explain what will be happening, and hopefully we'll be back at a pre-release next Sunday and be able to tuck into some Ultra Prism stuff because I cannot wait. I seriously can't. I'm bummed out by this. It's seriously annoying. It's really annoying that so many people are going to be really upset about this, and it's almost like it's a total almost waste now because if the pre-release is a week later, the pre-release will happen after the actual release date, which yes is pretty cool because you can open all of the stuff from the actual release and then go to pre-releases. That's seriously awesome. But it's always nice to enjoy a set before it actually comes out. If at all anything does happen and maybe the pre-release is just put off all completely, I will let you guys know. Although you'll probably see videos throughout the week, I will, if it doesn't go ahead, I will put a video out on Sunday just to explain. Otherwise, you will probably see a video of the pack openings from that first pre-release. But apart from that, I will leave it for me explaining in front of this, and we'll actually head over now to the actual video. Hello and welcome to Mock Productions. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back here with a very interesting video right here. So, tomorrow is the day, at least for me and possibly for quite a few people, that is going to be the first pre-release for Ultra Prism. And I'm super excited. I really, really am super duper excited. So, in readiness for that, I thought, why not share my own hints and tips as to what to bring to a pre-release in order to make everything run smoothly, so you've got everything you need. It just makes sense. Now, some of these things, they're going to be a little bit over the top, but it's the things I'm taking, and it's going to possibly be quite helpful. I'm not saying you're going to be able to grab all these right now, but in readiness for it, at least we can show off what we can what we can bring. So, without further ado, let's bring up the first of the items. And this is something new for me as well, because this is more of like an unpackaging, and then we're going to go into the what we need, like the hints and tips as to what to take to a pre-release. But I needed a new one, definitely did. So I'll bring in this. So we've got a package right here, quite a long package, quite thin though. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip open the package in order to see exactly what we have on the inside. Now hopefully it doesn't get completely spoiled, but ooh. Let's bring this out. Now this is one item that I will be taking to the pre-release because it will help store stuff. Oh yes. Okay, so let's flip this thing around. Oh, look at this. So if you guys haven't already seen, it is a Leafeon backpack. So I'll just bring this back a little bit just so you can see what's going on. It's a Leafeon backpack. This is pretty big. So this is going to be able to store everything that I need to go to pre-releases, to go to different events, and it just makes it a little bit more snug really to put everything into. So there it is. Very, very cool indeed. Oh, the things haven't been threaded through. That's fine because you can do it to your own liking. But also, when this thing is actually up on your back, you've actually got the ears for Leafeon to stick up. So they should go against your back like that, and then at least then it would make the full Leafeon backpack effect. This is very, very nice indeed. There we go, that's better. So let's bring this back and then bring this up. It's pretty big. It is pretty big. It's going to be able to store a lot of stuff, and what I'm going to show you now as to what to take to a pre-release is hopefully going to be very, very useful. Yeah, it's looking pretty sweet though, I have to say. It's pretty bulky. It's going to be able to store, there's pockets down the side, pocket at the front here. Right there, for bits and bobs there. Very, very nice indeed, very cool. And then I think there's a zip going around the top, and inside it's got this sort of padded material. Pretty cool. Oh, there's two different sections as well, so you could probably slot something down there, maybe a binder or something. That is very cool. Very nice, a load of space in there. That's awesome. Very, very cool. And it smells new, which is what I love. I love new backpack smells. Just gonna have to sort out the straps now, but very, very cool indeed. Looks very, very awesome. So that is the number one thing to probably take, is a bag. You're gonna need a bag. A backpack, a bag. It doesn't have to be a Pokemon one. You could even just take, if for example, kids, you can take like your school bag or something like that. But yeah, very, very cool indeed. That is the first item you're definitely going to need, is a bag. Now let's move this in. Flip this down. Lytton has already gone over. Come on, Lytton. Get up, mate. There he is. Good old Lytton. So, what else are you going to need? Well, first things first, I think we're going to have to talk sleeves. So, these ones right here are Ultra Pro, but as long as they fit the cards, and if you're at a pre-release, normally you're probably in a card store. I would even think of, if you're not too sure which cards fit, I'll just give you a hint. Now these are, I think, 66 millimeters. I think it's 66 millimeters. It's not centimeters, because otherwise that'd be massive. But it's like 6.6 or 66 something. That's what you're looking for on the sleeves here. But if you're not too sure, take them up to the counter, ask the person
and they will probably say, yeah, a Pokemon card will fit in there. Or, better than is actually get a Pokemon card and place it next to the actual box. And obviously, if it does fit in the sleeve that you can see, it should fit. But then again, I would just go up and ask. So definitely, number one thing, sleeves. Because I see a lot of people, when I go to the pre-releases, a lot of the kids, it's kids mostly, will not sleeve up any of the cards. Now, okay, fair enough. You know, sleeving some of the, you know, uncommons and all that sort of stuff and the commons, yeah. Rares, holos, come on. GXs, you're insane. And when you get an ultra rare, like a rainbow rare or a gold card, and they don't sleeve it, I get nervous, because you know, if you're trying to shuffle and you're banging unsleeved cards together, they're going to have loads of white marks on them, which is not exactly ideal at all. Yeah, definitely, sleeves are a must right there. Second thing, it's right here, is a playmat. I would definitely recommend doing this. It's not like a massive essential, but it is nice to have your own playmat. It sort of gives you your own personality on a mat. Which is why I sort of make my own mats, because then you sort of have a mat ready to go. We've got the Totodile mat, we've got the Glaceon, Totodile, Lapras and Gyarados mat. We've also had our new one, which featured, no, not Lurantis, Serena. We've got a few other mats as well, but it's very, very cool to have your own mat. And also it does help glide the cards around a lot more, and also picking them up, you can just slide them to the side. A mat is a very big thing to have, but I think it's definitely worth it. You don't even have to have like 2, 3, 4 or 5. One is enough, perfectly fine. And it doesn't have to be anything special. If it's just a black mat, it's a black mat. Again, mostly if you're going to be going to a pre-release, now I'm just talking from my perspective, you'll be doing it in a card shop. Normally, that card shop will probably have playmats, regardless of what the different genre of cards it is. If it's Pokemon, if it's Yu-Gi-Oh, all that different stuff, they should have at least a normal type playmat. Even if it's black, perfectly fine. So that is a definite must. Now, speaking of playmats, now this is just me, but if you enjoy your playmat, maybe you've got a special playmat, I would definitely either think of getting a bag for the playmat right here, or you can actually get a plastic tube which you can feed the mat into. Now, the only reason I say that, and probably the plastic one would be a lot better, is say you do put this in your bag, maybe you put a drink in there because you're thirsty. What if that drink spills, goes all over the mat, and I'm saying, for example, maybe it's a red currant drink, and maybe the whole mat is maybe a white mat. It now becomes white with red currant sauce all over it. So yeah, probably best to either have some sort of protection. I only have this one bag, because it actually came with the mat that's inside here, which is the normal Totodile mat. But any mat can be placed in here. You just got to roll it up yourself, really, really tightly roll it up, and then you can feed it in, and that's fab. So that's definitely another thing to bear in mind. Very, very cool indeed. Now, in terms of the actual game, now I've got this box right here, which is an Ultimate Guard like deck box. So I've got 2 decks either side here, and then what would normally be in this middle part here, it's obviously empty there, but you would slide out this little thing here. Now, these are quite important. We've got the GX counter, especially now with GXs. I'm not saying everyone is going to pull a GX in a pre-release, but with Ultra Prism there's going to be quite a few GXs. Hopefully people can play a few of them at least. I'd hope a few. But a GX counter always comes in handy, and it's just quite nice to have on the mat there. And also, even if you've got one and your opponent doesn't, maybe you didn't get a GX but they did, you can be like, there you go, take that for this match. That is quite an importance right there. So the second and third thing from this little thing is a poison and burn counter. Now believe me, you're going to use these quite a lot during a pre-release. They normally give you cards that do poison and burn, and even people will just play them to do the poison and burn. You will use these. You might not use both of them, but you will probably use poison quite a bit. Burn is just a one-off, maybe for a fire Pokemon, but normally poison is quite quite used to being at a pre-release. So definitely make sure you've got them with you. And then, as you can see here, I've got a massive assortment here of dice. It's also quite nice to share the dice. Of course, if your opponent does already have dice, you don't need to. But if they don't, at least you can maybe colour coordinate here. I know I've got about 2 rows of yellow, 1 blue, and then 1 red loaded dice there. So at least you could probably say, oh, okay, here you go, have all the yellows. So at least then that way you're not getting confused as to who's damaged and everything like that. So yeah, very, very cool. You don't have to have this tub here, but I would definitely say to get your dice ready. You know, if you've got elite trainer boxes, even if you've got some random white and black dice that you normally find in like a school or something, not that you would pinch them, but you know, that sort of thing, that's perfectly fine. As long as they're not weighted or anything like that. I mean, these are like nice because you can see through them and see there's no weight to them, because normally people can weight them and all that sort of stuff. But we're not here about cheating, we're here about what's good at pre-release. So I would definitely say make sure you got dice, make sure you got your counters, and make sure you're packing at least 1 GX counter. I've only got 1 at the moment. I mean, I do have loads because obviously I've got the elite trainer boxes with them all in. But it's always quite nice to have maybe some spares, or at least 1 for yourself. So that is a definite must there. So we've got quite a nice amount of stuff here. Now, also, this was part of an unboxing quite a while ago, but this is something for storage for the dice and the counters. It's a Vileplume dice bag. It doesn't have to be a Vileplume dice bag. You could even use a pillowcase. I don't care. But something so that you can actually store that I think there's counters in here. Oh no, I know what there's a wine figure and there's 3 coins in there. But yeah, you know, a pillowcase, something like that. But something to actually place these in, unless you have a tray like this, or you just want something to go on your mat and just look really funky, which is what this does. But yeah, you know, it's not a massive thing. It's like a luxury item. This is a need. This is a want. You need these, regardless of what game you're playing. You need dice. You need the counters. You don't need this, but it's a nice accessory to have. So that is just something else. Now, there's also one more thing. We'll just bring this back a little bit just so I can show you in person what this is. Now, you might have, maybe you go into the pre-release, you might pull a nice card. And maybe you don't want to use the card, maybe you can't use the card because you can't evolve into it. Maybe you want somewhere to store it in. Now, bearing in mind, you could, and I'm just saying this, store it in the pre-release box. But, you put this in your bag, and you shake it. I'm not saying this card's in there, but it's going to get a little bit whacked around. And this is where sleeves do come in. You put sleeve on it, and then maybe compact it up with some other like cards that you haven't used, so at least then it's got something to bounce off and it won't sort of make that noise. So you could use this, that's 100%. You could use a pre-release box itself. Of course you could have, you know, Crimson Invasion, you could have Burning Shadows. I do have Guardians Rising, but we're not going to show that off. We'll be having Ultra Prism soon, which is going to be awesome. So you could use that. This also entails for trades as well. If you've got any trades and maybe you want to just show them off, I would definitely say you need to try and get a binder at some point. It's not a massive like need, and you don't have to get one as big as this and as full as this, but it's very good to have one of these, because obviously you can say, right, here you go, here's my trade binder, go through it, see what you think. Now, with this one in particular, the front of this is my whole collection of GXs, starting with Sun and Moon and onwards. So that is what's in here at the moment. I can't open it up and show you because some of the videos in which we've got some of these GXs haven't been put up, so it would be spoiling it. But in terms of trades, let me just show you. This is another thing that I've done, which is an additional thing. You don't have to. Now, please don't have a go at me for prices that I've put on here, but I have actually put prices on the cards, just in case people can't trade for them, but they want the card. Now, I mean, I think they're reasonable prices. Some of them are a little bit high up. I can't go through all of them, because otherwise I'd spoil the doubles that I've got. But, yeah, you got some Slurpuffs there, you got some Trevenants, they're 50 pence. They're Furious Fist, but, you know, I mean, if people buy maybe 2 of these, you could probably say, oh, go on, have it for 75. So you're giving them a discount. But it's just there just so people know. Now, we did actually open a collector's tin, and in there was a very small binder you could place them in there. If you haven't got a lot of trades, place it all in there. Sorted. You've got that little booklet there and be like, there you go, there's my trades. Little booklet, that is fine. So I would definitely say if you've got a binder or maybe a box or something to put your trades in, definitely make sure you're bringing them, because a lot of people ask for trades, believe me, and sometimes it can be very beneficial to bring your trades along. Now I'm just trying to think of anything else in particular. I definitely think of taking money. You're going to get thirsty, you're probably going to get hungry, you're going to be there. Now, I mean, hours, the ones that I go to, I say hours, it's not hours. The ones I go to normally last for around about, I get there early, so it's about 4 or 5 hours, depending on the speed of the actual day. Now, if your pre-release, now this has only happened once so far, if your pre-release has only masters in it, it'll be a very quick day. If it has kids in it, they will take all of the time, if not a bit more. You're probably looking, if you're with juniors, instead of like a 45-minute round, you're probably looking at about an hour. Because even when they say it's time, they do take their time because they got to sort of think things over. People are trying to help them talk things through. So it does become a longer day if juniors are there. Now sometimes juniors can be super duper quick and they know exactly what you're doing and you're like, what have you done? So I'm not saying they're slow, because they are not, no way near are they slow. The more experienced they are actually, the better, because they're just really quick and they can even just tell their opponent, no, you can't do that. It's like, oh, okay, you know that, that's fine. Happy days. So yeah, that is definitely a very beneficial thing to have. Definitely take money, obviously, for food and drink. Obviously, if you haven't paid for the pre-release, make sure you pay for it on the day, because you can't exactly do it without paying for it. Hours are normally about £20, and obviously you do then get, I'll go through it, you do then get a box. If you haven't already seen any of the pre-release videos, we've released 3 different pre-release loads of videos, including opening of 5 boxes now for each set. I'm pretty sure it's each. Might be 4 for Guardians Rising, but at least 5 for everyone, or at least 4. And then we've also done the matches just to see how the decks go. And obviously inside of here, now I can't exactly show you because there is nothing really in here, you do get an instruction booklet, which is a regular thing. Normally whatever the person on the front is, the Pokemon on the front, it's normally on the little poster card here. That gives you instructions, that also gives you what is actually in here. You will get one promotional card, which is be a holo. It will have Ultra Prism on, or whichever pre-release you are going to. It will have the logo on it. You'll also get 22 extra cards, which will just be picked out and they'll be made. So, say for example, we'll be going through the actual, by the way, we'll be going through the actual 4 pre-release cards after all of this. But say for example, you get a normal type promo. They'll try and make it so that you can at least evolve into that normal type. There is one normal type promo in Ultra Prism, so we will be getting to that. They'll make sure you can evolve into that. They might even give you another one. And then they'll sort of either give you something, I'm not saying it will happen, but it could be like a full grass line. So, I don't know, you could get the Turtwig to Torterra line sort of thing. So you could get that. Or you could just get a random mishmash of different cards and have to think, right, do I want Psychic or do I want Fighting? That's the sort of thing you're left with. You can run both. You're only allowed 40 cards. Now, 40 cards do include energies, so it has to be 40, including energies. So whatever Pokemon you put in, I wouldn't say overload the deck with Pokemon, because you've only got 4 prizes as well. So those 4 prizes are going to get very, very easily destroyed. So Pokemon, as much as they are a necessary thing, I'd say load up on energies, and if you get any trainers, throw them in regardless, because they sometimes give you ones. For example, last year in Crimson, it was last year actually, in the last one, Crimson Invasion, they gave you Sophocles, so even if it's not useful at that time, you can discard it with Sophocles and draw 4 more cards. You could find a Pokemon, you could find an evolution, you could find more energy. It's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, that's probably the basic stuff. There's normally 3 rounds. You get 4 packs in here as well, so you could pull anything in those 4 packs, including a GX, a Secret Rare, a Holo, or nothing. Now, even if you don't pull anything, it's not bad. It seriously isn't not bad. I've seen people win against loads of GXs. You know, GXs, as much as they're like woohoo, some of them are quite pricey in attacks. Some of the GXs coming up, Palkia and Dialga, they've got a lot of energies to attach them before they can even do their GX thing. So if you can get some good damage on them with a good Pokemon setup, you're pretty good. What else about this? I think that's about it, really. Oh, and then obviously you do have the 3 rounds, which can be anywhere between half an hour to an hour. I'm saying that because if you're a junior, you're probably going to take a little bit longer. If you're a senior, you're probably going to rush through it pretty quickly. I wouldn't say rush, but it's going to be very quick rounds because you can't really do much. Like, you haven't got your Sycamores, you haven't got your Ends, you can't do much with that. So you're literally just like maybe playing an energy, turn. Playing an energy, turn. That's the sort of thing. So it's going to be pretty quick, but it's a load of fun. It really is a load of fun. And obviously after those 3 different rounds, you do then get another 3 packs, which is pretty cool. You do also get ranked. They do say, you know, or you came first, second, third. Sometimes you do get bonus cards or bonus items. Now that's very rare, but it can happen. Depends on who is the judge during the actual tournament. So that's definitely one thing to look out for. What else? You can, as much as you do get ranked, it doesn't affect your prize, like your prizes. It's not as if they've like said, right, these have got like 3 GXs in, happy birthday, and then the guy who came last is like, here's 1 pack. It's there's nothing in there. It's not like that. Although some pre-releases I have heard, they do something like that, where the higher you come in the standings, the more packs you do get. So the person who comes last would get 1, and the person who comes first can sometimes get even 5. So it's very interesting how they do it, but the normal pre-releases that I go to, you're guaranteed 3. You are guaranteed 3. There's no changes in that whatsoever, at least at the moment, but you're guaranteed 3, which is pretty cool. So you get 7 packs for £20, plus the 3 matches, plus also you get that promo card, which is normally worth about £10. So yeah, you're doing pretty well indeed, and you have a pretty good day out as well. But in terms of stuff to bring, I think that's about it. You've got your backpack, you've got all the stuff in front of us. Of course, you will get that on the day, unless you have one, and maybe you're storing some cards in from last time to trade or to show off. Fair enough. Apart from that, I wouldn't really say there's a lot more to bring. You got your drinks, you got your food, you got your money, you got all your items here, you got your play mats. Yeah, it's all pretty good. Hey, oh, and also, you've got to also take, and this is just me, you have to take a lucky charm. If you've got someone lucky, maybe you've got like a toy, or you've got like a figure or something, or maybe a Pokemon that you have that you really like, take it with you, just for the fun. Because believe me, a lot of people will comment on you bringing stuff and they will pick it up. They'll be like, oh, this is so cool. It works. And it's almost like a distraction. Take one. You will find that a lot of people will ask for them. So it's pretty cool indeed. But apart from that, apart from actually like saying everything that you'll need to take, the only thing left to actually show off now is the actual promos. So without further ado, we're going to head over and check them out right now.
Okay, so here we are with the Sun and Moon Ultra Prism pre-release promos. So let's have a little look at the promotional picture that shows all of them off with their logos. So there it is right there, and we can see straight away the 4 different cards. Very interesting choices here. I think 2 here are very big standouts and could be very, very big. Moving on from this, maybe one more than the other, but we got some very, very interesting promos. We got Wash Rotom, only one of the Rotums, and they had to pick Wash. Honestly, if it was me, I would have picked Mow. I just want a lawnmower. I want the lawnmower. It looks so cool. But Wash Rotom, very, very cool. We got Lucario, which will obviously evolve from Riolu. Heatran. And we've also got Gumshoes there, which evolves from Yungoos. So all of these cards will be in the set. That's the whole point of the pre-release promos. They are just cards from the set, and they're just slightly altered. And of course, they've got that nice stamp on them right there. So I've put them in probably the best order. I'll be brutally honest, this is probably going to be the best order for them. So let's have a little look at the first one, which we have Washrotom. So we've checked these out, probably all of them now, in our what they called news updates for Ultra Prism, and there will be more coming for the next set, which actually has been revealed. Forbidden Light. Very interesting title, Forbidden Light. Very, very cool. So, without further ado, Washrotom. It is a basic Pokemon, of course. It's a water, HP of 90. The ability Rotomotor. If there are 9 or more Pokemon tool cards in your discard pile, ignore the attack costs of this Pokemon. Now that ability is okay, but you'd have to get rid of a heck of a lot of tools. So either you run a lot of tools. Now this is probably not going to happen in pre-release. Nowhere near are people going to be able to get 9 tool cards. If they do, they are very, very lucky indeed. Now there are quite a lot of tools, to be honest, in the next one. There's Palpad. You'll also get other ones from previous sets, possibly. Maybe a weakness policy. Who knows? It is a tool. But the attack itself is for a water and 2 colourless Wash Arrow. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Benched. You don't get to pick. Well, you do, but it's not an active. You can't say, oh, well, I can pick anyone. I'll go active. It's got to be benched. So it's going to be an interesting one, because you can sort of maybe they bring up a really rubbish one. You just sort of hit their maybe there's a GX, maybe. And you start hitting quite hard for the 50, that's going to be pretty cool indeed. But that's probably my least favourite out of all of them. Next one is Gumshoos. Now, I love Gumshoos. I think he's awesome. I think he's a really, really cool Pokemon. Very interesting. Of course, there has been a GX of it. It's not the best, but it's just so fun. So much fun. For 2 colourless, we got Track Down. This is 20 plus damage. Your opponent reveals their hand. If there are any Pokemon there, this attack does 80 more damage. Now, it doesn't do 80 more for every Pokemon, it just does it if there is one. Not bad. 100 for two thing, that's pretty cool. During a pre-release, I'm not being funny, you're probably going to have a Pokemon in your hand. You are probably going to have at least one. Maybe your whole bench is full, you're going to have a Pokemon. So that is going to be very, very scary. And then for 3 colours, we got Knockover, 70 damage. I really wouldn't bother with that. I keep doing Track Down. I guess if you want to make sure you get 70, fair enough. But if you want to have a risk and go for 100, I guess you've got to sort of look for a poker face, really. Because you'd be like, Track Down, maybe? And then they'd be like, oh god, don't. And then it's like, yep, go on then, I'll do it. So, yeah, that's probably it's going to have to go second. It's good, but it's not as good as the others, so that's just me. Next one here we have Heatran, which in the set it should be a holo, and this has 2 attacks, one for metal and a colourless, guard press, 30 damage. Any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks during your opponent's next turn is reduced by 30, and for a basic with 130, that's pretty cool. So this is going to be a very, very cool attack. The next one though, metal colourless, boiler impact, 130 damage, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. That's going to be painful, and if it goes against fire Pokemon, it's going to be even worse. But no, I think it's pretty cool. You get 130, which is out of all of them, that's the highest at the moment. The guard press stops damage coming back to you with 30, so it sort of gives you almost like 160 HP. Obviously, if they do attack you for 160, you're gone, but. That'd probably be a GX move, maybe. But Boiler Impact, 130 damage, 2 energy. If you're running a lot of energy, that's not going to be very hard to carry on stacking up the energies. And even when maybe you have 4 energies on it, you discard the 2, you put another one, you're ready for the next turn. So you can do 130 twice pretty easily. That's pretty good. Pretty good, yeah, definitely a second place there for Heatran. And then last we have Lucario, the fighting Pokemon, HP of 110, Stage 1, and of course it evolves from Riolu. Now, because it is a pre-release promo, you should get the evolution line for the Gumshoos and also Lucario. So you will be able to get either 1 or 2 Riolu. My guess is as well, they'll probably throw in a non-holo version of the Lucario. That's just my thought. They might not. They didn't do it. I don't think they did it with one of the promos last time. I think you had a Reggie Steel, but I had a Reggie Rock. It was something like that. Something pretty weird, but hey ho, it's sort of it's okay. Now the ability here, now this is pretty interesting. Once during your turn, if you have Garchomp in play, you may search your deck for one card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Now, the ability itself is good when you have Garchomp. The ability without Garchomp is pointless. It is pointless, but it's good. You can search your deck for one card. That's any card. It doesn't have to be an item, Pokemon, it can be any card. Then you shuffle your deck. It's interesting, but I can't see it getting a lot of ability play unless Garchomp is very lucky. They somehow throw a rare candy in for you, and you magically are able to get the Gabite, I think it is, or is it Gibble? Gibble to the Gabite, Gibble to the Gabite to the Garchomp. Yeah, you've got to sort of find all of them. Bearing in mind Garchomp is a holo in the set, so yeah, good luck. If you do get it, very good. If you don't, yikes. But then you got Scud Jab for 70 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know. I've sort of rated them as I've gone by, but unless you get Garchomp, it's pointless. I think Heatran might be the best. I think during a pre-release, Heatran is going to be the best. I think we'll put Lucario third. No, second. I think he deserves second. Yeah. The ability itself is good if you had Garchomp. If you get Garchomp, woohoo, you're doing pretty well. If you don't, that's a bit of pain. That's painful. Yeah, I think Heatran wins out of all of these promos here. But yeah, very, very awesome indeed. 4 awesome promos here. I like all of them. I mean, some of them are going to be a bit of a struggle. Some of them are going to be pretty nice to have. So we're definitely going to have to wait and see as to what we can get. I'm going to all 4 of them, so I'm not saying I'm going to get all 4 at that point, but I've got trades, so if someone wants to give me one, happy days. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. So guys, let me know in the comments below, did I miss anything? Do you guys take anything to the pre-release that I didn't mention? Let me know. Put me to shame. Let's see what you guys take. Maybe something different that I didn't mention. But let me know. But apart from that, I will leave it here for this video. Good luck in the pre-releases if you are going, and good luck to people in the future going to pre-releases. But yeah, hope you're all prepared. I cannot wait for Ultra Prism. I'll see you next time.